Marco.
And my name is Catherine. So, Marco, what are we talking about here today?
Today, we're going shopping again.
We go shopping a lot here at English Pod, but this is an upper intermediate level lesson,
right.
So we've got some very specific terminology to cover.
Exactly. We're going shopping for a digital camera, so we're going to be talking about very specific, maybe a little bit technical vocab related to this very fascinating and expensive product.
All right, I'm very excited. I recently purchased a camera, but we won't talk about that yet. Let's take a listen to the dialogue for the first time, and when we come back, we can talk about some of the really interesting details.
Hello, ma'am. Can I help you find something?
Yes, actually. I'm looking to buy a camera.
We've got a wide selection. Do you know if you'd like a point and shoot or something a little fancier? Are you shopping for yourself or for someone else?
Actually, I'm buying a camera for my husband.
Ah, well then I'd recommend a nice entry-level digital SLR.
Yeah? Can I take a look at the SLRs you carry?
Sure thing, follow me. This here is
the Canon EOS. Yeah, it's okay, but I'm looking for something that performs better in low light, has a better display panel and longer battery life.
Oh, the Nikon D60 is a nice option?
Yeah, but what kit lens does this camera come with? I don't want some bulky telephoto lens.
Well, this one has the,
Looks to me like an 18 to 55mm lens. Pretty standard. That'll do. Not like my husband will be stalking celebrities or anything.
So, can I interest you in any
accessories? Do you carry polarizing filters?
Polarizing filters? We should. I'm sorry, ma'am. Looks like we're sold out.
No, you're not. There are some right here.
Oh, well, would you look at that? Polarizing.
Like I said, but there are some very important words that anyone who wants to buy a camera should know before they go into the store. And these are common across the board. So let's take a look at these in today's language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, so in language takeaway today, we have our first difference. Now, it's very important to know the difference between point-and-shoot camera and the digital SLR.
Okay, so digital, everyone knows digital now, right? That's the kind of photography we have. You don't use film, okay? It uses a memory card to record digital images. But point and shoot are those little cameras where you just click and it takes a picture. There's no lens, there's no additional lens, there's no special add-ons. It's a small rectangle and you just take normal pictures. And that's the kind of camera that like my mom uses.
Like,
and that, like,
everyone usually
I have it in my
those.
purse and whatever. It's just easy to use. But the digital SLR is a kind of camera that's like the old SLR where you have an attachment of you have a body and you have a lens and they're just much fancier and you have to do a lot more on your own to make a nice picture.
Now, SLR, that's an acronym. Do you know what it stands for?
So an SLR is a single lens reflex camera. And that means that there's a lot more you have to do as the photographer to make sure that the picture comes out well.
Right, so it's really interesting because you can actually play with the lens, like the focus and, you know, how much light you want to allow it to go in. And there's a lot of really, you know, sometimes a little bit difficult things that not many people understand.
Exactly, and so I think that's why it's good to do some research before you buy one because there's so many differences across the different cameras.
Okay, now both on digital SLRs and on point-and-shoot cameras, you have something that's called a display panel.
That's right. So a display panel is usually covered in plastic, and it's the area that tells you how many pictures you've taken, how many pictures you can take, if the flash is on, if you're doing an automatic setting. So it's like the little computer monitor that tells you what's going on with the camera.
Usually after you take a picture, you can also see how it came out, right, in that moment.
Exactly, and so a lot of times with these fancy cameras, you want to know if how big the display panel is, and how good the quality is in the display panel. Because obviously, if you take a picture and it shows up bad in the display panel, you want to take a new one. But
Right.
what if it's the display panel that's broken?
Right, right. Okay, very good. And that's actually one of the great advantages of digital cameras, that you can actually see how your picture looks like
Exactly.
in
It's
that moment.
instant gratification.
Nice. All right, now when she was looking to buy this digital SLR, she mentioned something about a kit lens.
Okay, this is fancy camera terminology, right? Because if you buy a point and shoot, there's no lens. It's just the camera. But if you're buying a fancy digital SLR, you can buy the body, which means the machine, but there's no lens. So normally stores will sell cameras with a kit lens. That means they make a kit, or they make a combination for you.
So it's the body and the lens.
Exactly.
But if you want, you can buy the body and the lens separate. Maybe you want a really fancy lens.
Exactly. So what's the kind of fancy lens we might buy?
A telephoto lens.
Ooh, so these are the really big lenses for super close-up shots from a distance, right? So you think of maybe professional photographers or photojournalists who have these kind of lenses. They're big and they're bulky and they're not
Right.
for traveling.
Usually you see them in like sporting events, right? They're on the side of the field and they have these big white, they're usually white lenses on their cameras. So you can actually take a very close picture of the action that's far away.
Exactly. And it's really good for those kind of things where you have action or where you're trying to get close-ups.
And now if one of these accessories that could go well with a telephoto lens or any digital SLR is a polarizing filter.
Okay, so filter is something that takes certain elements out of something else. So we can filter coffee, for example, and it takes the coffee grounds out and leaves the water. But in a camera, a polarizing filter is something we put onto the glass of the lens to change the way that light goes into the lens.
Okay. So in this way, you take a picture maybe of a very sunny day and it will look differently if you didn't have this filter.
Exactly. And you can also have a UV filter, which does similar things with UV rays in the sunlight. And these are just filters or things you put on the camera, and polarizing means that you're splitting up, right, the kind of light that goes in.
Okay, very good. Very technical terms, and but they're very useful, especially if you're looking to buy one of these cameras and you're not very familiar with the terms. But why don't we move on now to some very interesting phrases that we saw in the dialogue on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
All right, so on Fluency Builder, our first phrase today is entry level. What's an entry level digital SLR?
Okay, well, entry level is something that we can use for any kind of purchase, so any kind of thing that we buy. In the case of a camera, an entry level is not for an expert or professional. It's something for someone who's buying one for the first time.
So like for beginners.
For beginners. So entry level is like entry, beginning, starting. We can have an entry level job where you don't need training or experience, right? An entry-level camera where you don't need long experience with fancy cameras.
Or training to know how to use it. Okay, very good. So that's an entry-level camera, but as you mentioned, we can also use it for the job, an entry-level job position. All right, what about our second phrase?
Okay, so this one goes with the telephoto lens, right? She says, I don't need a telephoto lens. My husband doesn't need a telephoto lens. It's not like he's going to be stalking celebrities.
Okay, so we have this verb here, to stalk.
To stalk, that means to follow someone around.
Okay.
And to look at them and to watch them and to not leave them alone.
Now, she mentioned this because this is a very, very interesting and closely associated topic with photographers. You know, you have the paparazzi who follow celebrities and they have these big telephoto lens so they can take pictures of celebrities without them knowing.
Exactly. And so you imagine someone in a tree with a big telephoto lens taking a photo of someone famous who's, half a mile away. And stalking celebrities is something that's a bad thing, right?
Yeah, it's bad.
But it's very
also
common.
Illegal, I think.
And I think it's illegal, yeah.
All right. And what about our last phrase?
Would you look at that?
Well, he said it in a very surprised tone, right? Kind of like he didn't really expect to find the polarizing filters.
Right, so he's embarrassed, okay? Would you look at that means, oh, wow, I'm surprised.
Right.
Right, so it's awkward, right? So you could say, Marco, you got a little bit of food on your shirt? You've had it for like an hour.
Oh my God! Would you look at that? Oh, the
That's
beans
really,
I had
that's really embarrassing. I've got food on my,
on my shirt.
So this man who works at the store, he's embarrassed because he didn't know something he should know.
Okay.
And so he says, "Oh, would you look at that? How funny! I didn't see those."
Now we can also maybe use it in a sarcastic tone, right? If I tell somebody, "Can you bring me my glasses that are on the table?" And they're like, "I can't find them. They're not here." And then I find them. Would you look at that? Here they are, right?
On your head the whole time. That's my mom. Would you look at that? I was wearing my glasses the whole time.
All right, very good. So why don't we listen to the dialogue for the last time, and we'll be back to talk about digital SLRs.
Hello, ma'am. Can I help you find something?
Yes, actually, I'm looking to buy a camera.
We've got a wide selection. Do you know if you'd like a point and shoot or something a little fancier? Are you shopping for yourself or for someone else?
Actually, I'm buying a camera for my husband.
Ah, well then I'd recommend a nice entry-level digital SLR.
Yeah? Can I take a look at the SLRs you carry?
Sure thing, follow me. This here is
the Canon EOS. Yeah, it's okay, but I'm looking for something that performs better in low light, has a better display panel, and longer battery life.
Oh, the Nikon D60 is a nice option?
Yeah, but what kit lens does this camera come with? I don't want some bulky telephoto lens.
Well, this one has the,
Looks to me like an 18 to 55mm lens. Pretty standard. That'll do. Not like my husband will be stalking celebrities or anything.
So, can I interest you in any
accessories? Do you carry polarizing filters?
Polarizing filters? We should. I'm sorry, ma'am. Looks like we're sold out.
No, you're not. There are some right here.
Oh, well, would you look at that? Polarizing filters.
Thanks for your help, Ralph.
No problem, ma'am.
All right, we're back. So you mentioned you recently bought a digital SLR camera. How's that working out?
I'm loving it. I have to actually train myself on how to use it because I used to have an old film camera that had it was actually a Nikon as well, and it's different using a digital SLR. There's a lot of things you can do that are very fancy because you actually there's a computer inside essentially. So it's I'm getting used to it. It's fun.
And what about the difference in pictures, like from a point and shoot to a digital SLR? Does it really make a great difference? Are you very happy with it?
There is a big difference, and part of the difference is that you can control every aspect of the photo, okay? So my digital camera was a small little Canon, you know, the little, what are they called? The power shoot? And it took great pictures because, you know, these cameras have amazing pixel quality, right? They have like 7.1 megapixels or like 9.1 megapixels. So the quality is really good, but everything looks the same. If I have my digital camera, my digital SLR, I can frame a shot and I can focus on one person but make everyone else blurry. I can really make more artistic photos, whereas the point and shoot is great for parties and for
just like everyday stuff.
Everyday stuff, exactly.
Now, what about traveling? You have a dilemma there, right? Because you visit very beautiful places where you would love to take very nice pictures with a digital SLR, but at the same time, the inconvenience of actually, because they're pretty big, all of them are pretty big. So where would you go on that? Would you use the point and shoot or the digital SLR?
Well, that's a good question. One of the reasons that I picked the lens that I did is because it's not immense. But I really want to be able to do some like landscape photography, and I travel a lot, so I think it's worthwhile to suck it up and just take the camera, because otherwise, why did you buy it, right?
Yeah, that's true. All right, so an interesting topic here on English Pod, and I'm sure a lot of our users travel around, like to take pictures, or maybe are experts on digital photography. So why don't you come to the website englishpod.com? We'll see you there, and until next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Any compact, non-SLR camera with non-interchangeable lenses, using automatic settings and simplified controls, generally desired by novices and casual users. Point and shoot. Try to persuade someone to buy, do, or eat something. Interest someone in. A transparent optical device used to converge or diverge transmitted light and to form images. Lens. A camera lens filter used to control the plane of polarization of light entering the lens. Polarizing filter. Simple and appropriate to an inexperienced person. Entry level.
Let's try that faster.
Simple and appropriate to an inexperienced person. Entry level. A camera lens filter used to control the plane of polarization of light entering the lens. Polarizing filter.
And today we're going to be bringing you another great lesson, one of the lessons that you requested.
Yes, that's right. Actually, Maxim S requested this one.
Right. I think he's really into research and investigation. So we're bringing you a great lesson about this topic.
Okay, so I'm really excited to hear this dialogue all about research. So why don't we start listening to two university professors discussing an important question.
We've been over this 1,000 times. The data is irrefutable. Look, we've done extensive research, built studies, and read the literature, and there is conclusive evidence to support my theory.
Horowitz, I beg to differ. Even in your most recent study, the investigative approach was flawed. You know as well as I do, the collection of data was not systematic, and there's a large margin of error. To draw a definitive conclusion based on that data would be misleading.
That is preposterous.
You are trying to single-handedly solve one of the world's greatest mysteries, and yet you're oblivious to the fact that you're wrong.
I am not wrong. The chicken came first.
No! The egg came first!
The chicken.
Egg!
The chicken.
The egg!
The chicken.
The egg!
All right, so interesting. Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
It's an age-old question, isn't it?
And apparently, they are not going to agree anytime soon.
All right, well, what they can agree about is this awesome language. So why don't we take a look at it now in Language Takeaway.
Language Takeaway.
Okay, on Language Takeaway today, we have some really great words, and this first one is really good. Irrefutable.
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 The data is irrefutable.
Okay, so if the professor says that the data is irrefutable, what does he mean by that?
He's saying that you cannot deny it. It is really, really true.
It is really true. There is no way this is a lie.
Exactly.
Okay. Irrefutable evidence, for example.
Yeah, that's a great phrase. All right, so the professor complained that Dr. Horowitz's experiment was flawed.
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 So, flawed. Is that an adjective, a verb, or a noun?
It is an adjective here. Now, when something is flawed, there is a problem with it, right?
Okay,
There's
so
a
it
mistake.
has an error.
Yep.
Okay. So this adjective is a way of saying that his experiment has a flaw.
A mistake.
A mistake.
Exactly.
So flawed is the adjective of a flaw.
Right.
Okay.
Now, the reason that his study or his experiment was flawed is because that it was not systematic.
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 So systematic. That's an interesting word.
Now, I think we can recognize the word system in here, right?
Right?
So when something is systematic, it follows a process.
A certain order.
Yes, a certain system.
Right, so that's basically what systematic means, to follow a certain order, to be more organized, right?
Exactly, yep.
Okay. And what about our next word?
Preposterous.
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 That is preposterous.
I love this phrase.
It usually goes together, right? That is preposterous.
Yep.
Okay, so what does it mean when I say that?
It means it's absurd. It's ridiculous.
Right. It doesn't make sense. I can't believe you said that.
All right. Well, this is a really interesting phrase, but I think it's a little bit more common when it's used by older people.
Yeah, I don't really see a young person going up to someone and say, hey, that's preposterous.
Yeah, but it is a wonderful phrase. Now, our final phrase for takeaway. Oblivious.
Oblivious.
You're oblivious to the fact.
So a person that is oblivious to something.
They don't know, or they're unaware.
Okay, so they ignore maybe the facts, or
Exactly.
they don't see it.
Yeah. You're oblivious to the fact that we're in a recession.
Okay, or he is completely oblivious. You can just say it like that, right?
Yep, he doesn't know.
Okay, so we took a look at some of the great vocabulary we found in the dialogue, but there were also some really good phrases that I think we should look at.
Okay, and let's take a look at those and putting it together.
Putting it together.
You know, Marco, one of the things I love about English is the way that words seem to fit together, like blocks coming together. And here we have a lot of great examples of these words that fit together really nicely. Okay, so why don't we look at those? And our first one now is extensive research.
Extensive research.
Extensive research.
All right, so we know extensive means
A lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
So that's really good when you put it together. Extensive research. It means you have
A lot of research.
you have really studied, you have really looked things up. Okay, extensive research.
Another great research-related phrase here is conclusive evidence.
Conclusive evidence.
Conclusive evidence.
All right, now the first word there, conclusive.
When something is conclusive, you can't argue with it. It's the final decision. All right, well, the professor complained that Horowitz' investigative approach was flawed, right? So this is our next phrase, investigative approach.
Investigative approach.
Investigative approach.
Okay, so I remember the word investigate is a verb.
Yes?
But in this case, it's an
adjective.
adjective.
When something is investigative, it's obviously having to do with
An investigation. So the approach so when he said investigative approach.
just simply the way you investigate
Okay.
the problem.
The way he investigated. Okay. Very interesting. What about this other phrase that I saw? It was really interesting. Definitive conclusion.
Definitive conclusion.
So a definitive conclusion.
All right. Well, again, I think we know the word conclusion, right?
Okay.
So it's a final judgment or decision.
All right.
When something is definitive, you can't argue with it or change it.
Okay, so the conclusion or the final result is final. Like there is no way of arguing it.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right.
Definitive conclusion.
This is some great language. So why don't we listen to it one more time in the dialogue?
We've been over this 1,000 times. The data is irrefutable. Look, we've done extensive research, built studies, and read the literature, and there is conclusive evidence to support my theory.
Horowitz, I beg to differ. Even in your most recent study, the investigative approach was flawed. You know as well as I do, the collection of data was not systematic, and there's a large margin of error. To draw a definitive conclusion based on that data would be misleading.
That is preposterous.
You are trying to single-handedly solve one of the world's greatest mysteries, and yet you're oblivious to the fact that you're wrong.
I am not wrong. The chicken came first.
No! The egg came first!
The chicken.
Egg!
The chicken.
The egg!
The chicken.
The egg!
So, an interesting question. What do you think? What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Well, if you ask me, it was the egg.
It was the egg?
Yeah.
Interesting. What about why did the chicken cross the road?
To get to the other side.
Do you think that's really the reason?
Well, there's a million different reasons, but this is great. I'm glad you brought that up because this is like the classic English joke.
The classic English joke, right? Why did the chicken cross the road? And the answer is always...
Well, there are a million answers. So do you guys know any chicken jokes?
Yeah, why don't you come to our website, EnglishPod.com, and on the comments section, why don't you leave us your thoughts on what came first, the chicken or the egg, and why do you think the chicken crossed the road?
Research. Research is the process of finding new information, answering questions, and solving problems. It helps people learn more about the world and make better decisions. Research is used in many fields, such as science, medicine, business, and education. Students, teachers, scientists, and professionals all use research to improve their knowledge and understanding. Why is research important? Research is important because it helps people gain knowledge. Without research, we would not know about history, medicine, technology, or the universe. Research helps doctors find new treatments for diseases. Scientists discover new planets. And businesses understand what customers want. It also helps students learn and develop new ideas. Research allows people to solve problems. For example, if a city has too much traffic, research can help find ways to reduce congestion. If a company wants to sell a new product, research can show what customers need. In education, research helps teachers find better ways to teach students. Types of research. Research is done in many different fields and for different reasons. The way research is conducted depends on the goal, the subject, and the methods used. Some research is based on experiments, while others rely on studying past information. Here are some of the main types of research. Scientific research. Scientific research focuses on understanding the natural world, technology, medicine, and human health. Scientists perform experiments, collect data, and analyze results to discover new knowledge. For example, medical researchers study diseases to find new treatments, while physicists explore the laws of the universe. This type of research helps improve medicine, technology, and our understanding of the environment. Historical research. Historical research is the study of past events, people, and cultures. Historians look at old books, letters, newspapers, and artifacts to learn about history. This research helps people understand how societies have changed over time and how past decisions influence the present. For example, researchers study ancient civilizations to learn how they lived, what they believed, and how they built cities. Social research. Social research focuses on human behavior, cultures, and societies. Sociologists and psychologists study how people interact, what influences their decisions, and how societies change. This type of research helps improve education, economics, and social policies. For example, researchers study how children learn in different environments or how people react to advertisements. Market research. Market research is done by businesses to understand customer needs, preferences, and behaviors. Companies collect information through surveys, interviews, and product testing. This research helps businesses create better products, improve customer service, and increase sales. For example, a company may research which colors people prefer for a new smartphone or what type of food is most popular in a certain area. Educational research. Educational research helps improve teaching methods and learning experiences. Teachers and researchers study how students learn, which teaching techniques are most effective, and how technology can support education. This type of research helps schools develop better curriculums and improve student performance. For example, researchers may study whether online learning is as effective as classroom learning. Medical research. Medical research helps doctors and scientists find new ways to treat and prevent diseases. This type of research includes testing new medicines, studying viruses, and improving surgical techniques. It helps save lives and improve the quality of healthcare. For example, researchers work to develop vaccines for new diseases and find better treatments for cancer. Environmental research. Environmental research focuses on nature, climate, and ecosystems. Scientists study air pollution, deforestation, and global warming to find ways to protect the environment. This type of research helps create solutions for clean energy, water conservation, and wildlife protection. For example, researchers study how plastic pollution affects the ocean and how to reduce it. The research process. The research process is a step-by-step way of finding, analyzing, and understanding information. Good research follows a clear process to ensure accuracy and reliability. Choosing a topic. The first step in research is deciding what to study. Researchers choose a topic based on their interests, current problems, or gaps in knowledge. A good research topic is specific, clear, and meaningful. For example, instead of researching climate change, a researcher may focus on the effects of climate change on Arctic wildlife, gathering information. Once the topic is chosen, researchers collect information from different sources. These sources include books, academic journals, websites, interviews, and past studies. It is important to use reliable sources to ensure the accuracy of the information. Government reports, university studies, and expert interviews are considered trustworthy sources. Asking questions. Research begins with a question that needs an answer. This question helps guide the study and keeps it focused. For example, a researcher studying healthy eating may ask, how does sugar affect children's energy levels? Good research questions help researchers find useful information, conducting experiments and surveys. Some research includes experiments, where scientists test different ideas to see what works. Other research involves surveys, where people answer questions to provide data. For example, a scientist testing a new medicine may compare how two groups of people react to it. A company studying customer behavior may conduct a survey to learn what products people like the most. Analyzing data. After gathering information, researchers study it carefully. They look for patterns, trends, and important facts. This step helps them understand what the information means. For example, if researchers collect data on how much exercise people do in a week, they may find that people who exercise more are healthier. Drawing conclusions. Once the data is analyzed, researchers make conclusions based on their findings. They decide what the information tells them and how it can be used. If the research is about a new medicine, they determine if it is safe and effective. If the research is about education, they see if a teaching method helps students learn better. Sharing results. The final step in the research process is sharing the findings. Researchers write reports, publish articles, or present their results at conferences. This allows others to learn from the research and use it for future studies. Sharing results is important because it helps advance knowledge and solve problems. Challenges in research. Research can be difficult because it takes time, effort, and resources. One challenge is finding accurate and reliable information. Not all sources are trustworthy, and some may contain incorrect or biased information. Researchers must be careful and check multiple sources before making conclusions. Another challenge is time and cost. Research, especially scientific research, can take months or years to complete. Some research needs expensive equipment, travel, or large teams of researchers. Funding from governments, universities, or companies is often required. Ethical issues are another challenge in research. Researchers must follow ethical guidelines to protect people, animals, and the environment. For example, medical researchers must test medicines safely, and social researchers must respect people's privacy. The importance of research. Research is important because it helps people find answers, solve problems, and learn new things. It is used in medicine, business, education, and many other fields. Research improves technology, health, and knowledge. It allows people to make better decisions and develop new ideas. Whether studying history, science, business, or social behavior, research helps expand our understanding of the world. By following a clear process, using reliable sources, and analyzing information carefully, anyone can conduct good research. It is a valuable skill that helps students, professionals, and experts improve their work and make a positive impact on society. Challenges in research. Research can be difficult. One challenge is finding reliable information. Not all sources are trustworthy, and some may contain false or biased information. Researchers must check multiple sources to confirm accuracy. Another challenge is time. Research takes a lot of time, especially when conducting experiments or collecting data. Researchers must be patient and careful in their work. Some research requires funding. Scientific research, for example, often needs expensive equipment and laboratories. Researchers must find financial support from universities, companies, or governments. Ethics in research. Ethics in research means following rules to ensure fairness and honesty. Researchers must not lie about their findings or change data to fit their opinions. They must also respect the rights of people who participate in studies. For example, if a researcher studies human behavior, they must ask for permission from participants and protect their privacy. Scientific researchers must also consider the environment and animals. For example, medical researchers testing new drugs must follow ethical guidelines to ensure safety. Research in everyday life. Research is not just for scientists and students. It is part of everyday life. People do research when they read product reviews before buying something, compare different job opportunities, or look for the best travel destinations. Parents do research to find good schools for their children, and doctors research the best treatments for patients. The internet has made research easier. People can find information quickly with search engines, online libraries, and educational websites. However, it is important to check if the information is true and reliable. The future of research. Research is always changing and improving. Technology has made it easier to find and share information. Artificial intelligence, AI, is helping researchers analyze data faster. Scientists are using advanced tools to explore space, cure diseases, and solve environmental problems. Education is also benefiting from research. Online learning, virtual classrooms, and new teaching methods are improving education worldwide. Research continues to shape the way people learn and communicate. Conclusion. Research is an important part of learning and problem solving. It helps people find answers, make better decisions, and improve the world. Whether studying history, science, business, or health, research provides valuable knowledge. By using reliable sources, following ethical guidelines, and asking good questions, anyone can become a better researcher. Research is not just for experts, it is a skill that everyone can use in daily life.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Correct. Not able to be proved wrong.
Irrefutable.
Very full and complete study to find information.
Extensive research.
Using a careful system or method.
Systematic.
Having errors or mistake.
Flawed.
Crazy, foolish, or silly.
Preposterous.
Unaware or don't know.
Oblivious to.
Way of looking for information.
Investigative approach.
Do something on your own, without help.
Single-handedly.
A final judgment that is not able to be changed. That is final.
Definitive conclusion.
Find out if something is true.
Determine.
Show something to be true.
Indicate.
An argument that is capable of making people believe that point of view.
A compelling case.
A collection of facts that implies or suggests something to be true, but does not prove it.
Circumstantial evidence.
Linked or connected with.
Associated with.
Let's try that faster.
Unaware or don't know.
Oblivious to.
Having errors or mistake.
Flawed.
Find out if something is true.
Determine.
Correct. Not able to be proved wrong.
Irrefutable.
A collection of facts that implies or suggests something to be true, but does not prove it.
Circumstantial evidence.
Way of looking for information.
Investigative approach.
A final judgment that is not able to be changed. That is final.
Definitive conclusion.
Very full and complete study to find information.
Extensive research.
Linked or connected with.
Associated with.
Show something to be true.
Indicate.
Using a careful system or method.
Systematic.
Crazy, foolish, or silly.
Preposterous.
An argument that is capable of making people believe that point of view.
A compelling case.
Do something on your own, without help.
Single-handedly.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Irrefutable. Look, we have irrefutable evidence that he was the killer. Irrefutable. The facts are irrefutable. Smoking has a negative impact on your health. Irrefutable. The irrefutable truth is that there is a monster living in Lake Erie. Systematic. We need to approach this problem in a systematic way. Systematic. We did a systematic evaluation of the evidence. Systematic. He's a very systematic guy. He's very careful with his work. Neil is oblivious to what's going on around him. Are you oblivious to the truth? I was oblivious to the fact that there was a virus on my computer. Definitive conclusion. We have not come to any definitive conclusions yet. Definitive conclusion. Before you make a definitive conclusion, make sure you examine all the evidence. Definitive conclusion. The researchers failed to arrive at any definitive conclusions. We studied the problem carefully, and we found conclusive evidence of global warming. There's no conclusive evidence that links Diet Coke to health problems. There is conclusive evidence showing that smokers die younger.